Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Scottsburg City Council on August 10th, 2020. And we're running just about 7 minutes behind, so if you tuned in a little bit ago, welcome to council. We're starting a little bit late. We apologize for that, but nonetheless, we're here at the Mid-American Science Park. So if you're wanting to come, and we have still plenty of room for you to make it here tonight. So just come to the sideboard, the Mid-American Science Park. And we're going to begin by prayer. So, and then the flag is right behind us here. So let's all stand and do that. We'll have prayer and we'll have a pledge of allegiance. Father, we just come before you. Thank you for your blessing of life, Father. Each day is just a blessing from your hand. Father, let us not take them for granted. Father, we just come before you and just ask for your presence, Father, for your wisdom, for your discernment, Father, for your direction. Father, for these men and women who said, here am I, send me, Lord, that represent the people, Father, we pray your blessing upon them, and with wisdom, with discernment, and in leading this city. Father, we are servants to the people and servants to the Messiah. We bow before you and thank you for your blessing. Be with us this evening. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. After the pledge, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you. Now for the roll call.
Mayor Amy.
Here.
Chris Albertson.
Here.
Bill Hoagland.
Here.
Rick Mann.
Here.
Christian Evans.
Here.
Chuck Rose.
Here. Thank you. All are present and accounted for. Next thing we have is the approval of the minutes of the July 27th meeting. You've had a chance to look over those minutes and see no corrections. We'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Richard Evans makes a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Rick Mann seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So passed. Let me say something here is that typically one of the things that I've done coming into office, I've gotten the employees' birthdays and I try to send every employee a birthday card saying happy birthday. And I have messed up on council. So Christian Evans, I think, had a birthday last time that I caught it right there. So I apologize I didn't get that. We have another young man who has a birthday yesterday. And that's Councilman Bose. So was it any difficulty in blowing out all 29 candles?
Not at all. It's the rest of it that made.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! It's time now we're going to have a public hearing here in just a second regarding the sanitation rate. So, and what's going on with that? So, let me just give you some of the guidelines. The Scottsburg City Council will accept public comments, and the gals are here to bring you a microphone so you can speak. And individuals wishing to address the council will be asked to come forward. In this case, basically stand where you're at, and Jessica or one of the gals will bring you a microphone, and so that you can speak and council can hear you with the PA. This room is a little bit larger than what city council chambers are, so it doesn't carry as well without the PA system. When you come forward or when you get the microphone, please state your name for the record. Each person will have 5 minutes to voice their opinion. Remarks should focus on issues and not be used to target city employees or elected officials. So right now, let's open this hearing for a public hearing. So who would like to go first?
Public comment.
Would anybody like to speak tonight regarding? This is only sanitation. That's the only public hearing I see that we have. Is that correct? Yeah, public comment, sorry. Public comments, right?
Yes.
She is amazing. You talk about multitasking. These guys do a great job multitasking.
She does it all. Holy cow, she does it all, doesn't she? Good evening, Council. I'm Mike Chesser, Executive Director of the Scott County Visitors Commission. For those of you here that are unaware, the Scott County Visitors Commission is a tourism commission established under Indiana Code and by local Scott County ordinance for the purpose of marketing, promotion, advertising, destinations, hotels, conference centers, museums, points of historical reference, restaurants located here in Scott County and the municipalities of Austin and Scottsburg. Our commission's purpose is to engage in activities which are likely to bring tourists, overnight stays, business travelers to Scott County and to make their stay a very positive experience. I'm here to provide 3 areas of commentary on the proposed food truck ordinance that's been presented to the council for consideration and thought. But first, I'm here asking the council for clarification on the statement made on July 27th at the Common Council meeting, and paraphrasing the comment, if I may, that once the $500 application fee is paid and their inspection is approved, a food truck is permitted to set up anywhere with the exception of the restricted areas written within the ordinance. The comment then went on to say that a food truck would even be allowed to set up at any area festival, fair, or special event without paying any additional fee to the organizing body for those events. Is that correct?
What we're having, I was gonna say, basically, Mike, what happened here, if you notice in the minutes, that ordinance was tabled, so that's not even on our agenda for tonight.
I understand, but I'm here for clarification on that particular
And
comment that was made.
That was the areas of confusion, Mike.
I'm sorry.
I said that was one of the areas of confusion.
Okay,
That's where there was misunderstanding, and that's one of the areas that have to be ironed out before any ordinance is even going to be considered.
okay,
But you're spot
okay. All right,
That was a proposal and it's been tabled.
I'm gonna come just a little bit
on.
closer.
Just come on.
That was a proposal and that's just been tabled
Okay,
because there were a lot of problems with it just, and not on anybody, it just threw it out
okay,
as a possibility, if I correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Mayor.
okay,
And we talked about it, but it's something we're gonna, and I don't know when we will revisit it, it's going to be.
okay. Well,
That was
that's
one
fine.
of the problems that was brought up.
That was one of my concerns, because I know many of those organizations are conducting these venture activities as fundraisers. And if the city were to supersede or then take away their individual rights to organize and manage their events, which most importantly, they lose revenue.
None of them are.
Right, that's my thought, and I just wanted to bring that to the council's awareness, because I saw more potential issues or problems in the long run than solutions in the short run. So at this point, since that is not necessarily on the agenda, I'll go ahead and sit down. Thank you all very much for the clarification.
I don't care if you want to mention the other things that you had concerns about that.
That's up to the common council. If you're okay with that, I'll go right ahead. I guess first, I'd like to point out that every business has kind of been hurt by the coronavirus pandemic. And under normal, non-COVID circumstances, food trucks have not, nor would they normally be an issue. For those of you who have done your research, a food truck can earn on one Saturday at a festival, fair, or special event what it can take them nearly 4 weeks to earn setting up for a daily lunch or dinner here in Scottsburg. Additionally, those local restaurants under normal circumstances would normally be far too busy for catering, festivals, fairs, special events, and more importantly, the preparation associated with each of those events, that they really couldn't afford to show up to compete with the brick and mortar restaurants for the $50 to $75 average lunch or dinner excess revenue that they might generate. Secondly, I'd like to point out there's a total of 7 food trucks that we've accounted for in our office. Only 3 have shown consistency in their days of operation and hours served. One of those is only here in Scottsburg on Mondays. One services 2 manufacturing facilities south of US 31. And the other is located on his personal property in a square here in downtown Scottsburg, which is owned appropriately for restaurant operations. The other 4 food trucks we reported have no consistency to the point that the property owners and managers that I personally spoken with have absolutely no idea if or when they're going to be showing up. So potentially, those added 4 pose it's a big question mark on what their impact truly is. Lastly, while I acknowledge that food trucks don't provide the tax revenue that the brick and mortar counterparts do, are 3 consistent food truck businesses really hurting the existing restaurants in Scottsburg? So I might suggest that these restaurants first take a good look at themselves. How's their customer service? Customer service is the #1 complaint our office receives on an annual basis. And by the way, that's just not limited to restaurants. Is there anything special about the food that you prepare? It's my job to encourage local. But sometimes, and I'm just going to be very honest, it is really hard to enthusiastically promote average quality as more than it actually is. See, no marketing or inconsistent social media awareness efforts. When was the last time they updated their Facebook page? I could go to half a dozen restaurants that it may have been a week or so last time they promoted a special. And then what about the national change in franchises and alcohol in Scottsburg? Far more of them than there are food trucks. Taking a larger bite out of that pie, what our local restaurateurs are trying to generate. As a former marketing and business consultant, and I have worked with a number of restaurants, I understand the challenges of running a local restaurant and business. And perfectly honest, 3 food trucks that are making a big impact on the local restaurant business in Scottsburg. I think there are much bigger opportunities for these restaurants than worrying about 3 local food trucks. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Ms. Jessica.
Is there anyone else here would like to comment on the sanitation ordinances before us? We have, over here?
Yes, we've seen the colorful paper that the sanitation pickup, and what's happening there with the dumpster or whatever, the trash bin, etc. Can you tell us what's going on with that? Is it being done or cancelled or something else going on?
Tonight, we're going to look to amend this ordinance so that we're going to do away with that trash can pickup right now. What the city's going to look to do in the future is to procure these 95-gallon big cans with wheels that you can pull them out and then have a bar and a trash truck pick it up and just dump it, so nobody has to bother. That would just be one option. The second option is to continue along with what we call a Sasco sticker. We've had a lot of complaints about the Sasco bags, Marcellus. So what we're going to do is buy your own bag. You want the hefty, get the hefty. But all you have to do is put a sticker on it. The stickers are going to go from 75 cents, that was put back in 1993. So 27 years ago, it's what we charged was 75 cents. It's not been raised in 27 years to $1. In 1993, the 75 cents basically paid the sanitation fee. The Scott County does not have a landfill, so we have to basically become what we call a transfer station. All of your trash is put into a massive dumpster, compacted down, that's hauled to a landfill some 35 miles away. And we pay per ton for that. So now, because there's not been a raise, that fee has gone from basically zero, to the taxpayer supporting it to the tune of 60% or greater. And, so that's what's going on tonight. We're trying just to kind of close the gap, even by raising a quarter, is not going to close that gap as much as we'd like to see, but we're also raising the dumpster rate. Right now, the trash can is probably going to be off for tonight. Did I answer your question?
To a degree, yeah. So then, what if we set up our own landfills so that we can, like, my problem might be another, the same problem to, just, building like, swamp areas that benefit the community.
State won't allow it because of some of those areas you were talking about tonight.
And just ask them to make sure he's making it.
Yeah, it's, state won't allow it. We had a landfill for years, it was closed down in the 80s. So that's what it is.
Okay, you say that you've amended the $25 a month because the trucks won't, move or can't transport the barrels that you were talking about.
It won't lift them up.
Okay, but with you ratifying it, because some of the citizens, they kind of came to us and was complaining, said, well, said, you won't go in, you could kind of find out if, with you saying it's a myth, and with it, the second page in the credit bill, according to the minutes, it says it's already been ratified. Now, with you saying it's a myth, does that mean that the $25 is out the door until later?
That is correct.
But as of September 1st, then residents need to sign up.
No, you cannot at this point
Okay,
put a trash can out that we'll done.
okay.
Put your Sasco bags out. In the future, if council wants to go forward with that, then that's what we will do, and it will be only for your choice. You don't have to, you can continue to use Sasco stickers. It is only for your choice. Some people have 4 or 5 kids and they like to have that great big 95-gallon on a wheel, you can just wheel it out.
So the stickers fixed on the council, or can fixed it on the bag online?
You would purchase it at still the same locations you're purchasing the Sasco bags at now.
Yeah, so.
I don't think we'll do it. Is there anybody else on public comments? Get one lady over here, please. Please state your name.
Council, Mayor, I will say we've had some people ask on Facebook if you guys can talk into your mics a little better so they can hear you.
Hi, I'm Marilyn. My question is, the 2 trash bag limit.
Let me ask council this. Should we just go ahead and open the public hearing up for sanitation and we might as well? So let's have this going forward with just opening out for public hearing. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you. What is your name, please?
Marilyn, also.
Marilyn also, okay.
My question was, the trash cans are out the window right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have a 2 trash bag limit.
No.
See, that's what's in the ordinance papers or whatever. It said 2 trash bag limit, 25 pounds apiece. If I put watermelon rinds and cat litter in a bag, and I'm 65, I can get it to the curb, then how are you gonna measure the weight? I mean, that's kind of impossible.
Well, I mean, we don't have scales there, but if we have to have 2 men pick your bag up, we know it's over 25 pounds.
I mean, if I'm 65 and can get it to the curb, they need to eat some weeds.
But no, if you want to put 10 bags out there, they just have to have 10 stickers on each bag.
Okay.
You just have to have a sticker on every bag, so you'd have 10 bags and 10 stickers there. But however you want to.
See, there was on the ad, it said 2 bag limit.
I'm
And
sorry.
I use 2 bags myself. And if you've got a family with children, we're gonna use more than 2 bags.
That's not even part of this, not even part of this sanitation. Did anybody see a 2-bag limit anywhere?
Yeah, a little bit in that, big hand.
But this is, the ordinance before council tonight does not have a 2-bag limit to it. So I don't know where the paper got that.
City of Scottsburg in the Crescentville, newspaper, and it says the feedback limit on 25 pounds.
We're not putting any limits on anybody as long as you have a sticker on your bag.
Questions that need clarified.
Sure. Sure. What other questions do you have?
Well, you've already answered the trash can
Yeah.
thing.
And some people want the trash can. Some people really want the trash can close to the bag. Our problem right now is the trucks are not equipped to do, we don't want to have our men hurt themselves by putting cans up in there.
Right.
You got a 95-gallon can, that can's not quite as tall as you, but it's a tall can. And with 2 wheels, you're just gonna push it out the night before, then bring it in the next day, you know?
Well, that's not what I read on the 95-pound bin. I read 33-gallon trash can, $25 a month.
Council didn't like that, so we're gonna amend the whole thing. So,
Okay.
yeah, so at this point, that whole section is gonna be out.
Okay. That's what I want to clarify.
Yeah. Now, thank you for that. Absolutely. Other comments, questions from the public? And folks, I hope this clarifies things up for you a little bit. So again, there's no trash cans at this point. We're looking in the future, once we get our trucks equipped, to bring that back forward. But right now, it's not. It's just gonna be your Saskville stickers. Just use them like you always have used them. You may procure them at the same place you've always procured them at. So, thank you so very much.
33-gallon trash bins.
33-gallon trash.
Weigh no more than 25 pounds. And no limit on the number that you can set out there, but each individual bag has to have.
Yes, that's correct. Each bag has to have a sticker, 33-gallon can, bag, and 25-pound limit. So, and also I'll say this as well. Please, if you set your trash out the day before, please don't set it out a week before. You can set it out the night before because animals can get into that and tear it up and just make our city a terrible mess. And set it out that morning before your allotted day or that evening before. Please don't set it out 3 days or 5 or 6 days before. It just keeps our city looking nice and neat. We want Scottsburg to look, smell, taste clean. So thank you for your help with all of that. Other comments on our public hearing now? Hearing none? Yes, one more. What'd she say?
She couldn't have come, doesn't mean, right?
Yeah, we're probably kidding. Sure, go ahead.
Right.
So this is on the trash ordinance, okay. So anything else on the public hearing for the sanitation? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Then you want to listen to her. What other question did you have, Glenn?
Recyclables, what are we doing with those now?
Recyclables at this point are going to probably be located at the Scottsburg transfer station. So if you have recyclables, we talked about possibly putting bins out. Councilman Mann said, you know, if we put bins out, then everything may be put in there. And so recyclables, as the county has places throughout the county. They're picking things up. Scottsburg, I think, is gonna copy the county in that. That will probably be done at our Scottsburg transfer station. And, we will take the metals, glass, tin, aluminum. Those will all be glass, that will all be recycled there.
So we won't have the little recyclable bin anymore.
No, we're not planning on coming around, simply because that's a cost-saving area. It's costing us a tremendous amount of money to do that.
Okay.
So you can bring those recyclables, to the transfer station. We will take those, or possibly we're looking at even maybe 4 hours even on a Saturday. So even on a Saturday, people could bring recyclables. So again, we're looking at those. We're looking at different ideas right now.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
Mayor, I have always been a big proponent of curbside recycling. Unfortunately, there's no market, especially with plastic right now, which makes up the majority of recyclables. So people have been putting, myself included, putting our recyclables in those containers, have the truck come and pick it up, and I've been thinking I'm helping the environment, and that's not true. And we end up having to have that disposed of, and it usually costs us 2 to 3 times the amount that it costs to get rid of our regular trash. So what we're doing is just paying more money needlessly and not doing any good for the environment. I would hope that someday when there's a market again for those materials that we can go back to curbside. But right now it's not feasible.
I did read somewhere where one city was taking their plastics, grinding them down, mixing it with their asphalt, and it makes the roads last longer. So that might be something we want to look into.
Yeah, I hope that more uses of that plastic are identified and put into practice so that there is a market, especially here in West. We don't have the ability we don't make our own asphalt, one thing, but we would have the ability to grind plastic and those kinds of things. But we have to find some solutions to all that trash that we're.
And I tell you this, I'm somewhat anal about recycling. I mean, I try to recycle at my house, my businesses. I've had, so we try our best to do the cardboard, the paper, the aluminum, everything. And but like Chuck said, we were paying $78 a ton for recycling and we'd have to drive it to Medora. So it just has been a very expensive thing. So once we bring it here, we can take a lot of those, one like the Southern Indiana Solid Waste District, and they recycle that. And that's right over here in Madison. So we can take our glass, we can take our paper, we can take our tin, whereas the cardboard and the aluminum we can take right here in town. So, so we will handle all recycling at the transfer station. I hope that answers your question.
For that part, yes.
Yes, thank you.
I did have a couple of things to address. South 31, or South Main Street.
Yes.
Can they put dips in, bumps in, radar, something? I mean, they're flying down through here 50 miles an hour at least, in a 20-mile zone. And we do have people who walk down that road that go to work and home.
Well, let me say this, we are putting sidewalks in, we are planning on putting sidewalks down Main Street as well. We want sidewalks in town going to our parks or downtown or schools. So, Chief?
We have, Mayor, I know you can point about.
Yeah, I've talked to you several
I'm
times.
sorry,
I've talked to you several times.
I can assure you that there's stats we can show you where the mayor asked us in February 8th to increase traffic. As of today, the report I gave you, Mayor, we wrote 373 warnings or citations in February. So we have increased. A lot of those are down there on your street. I don't want to tell you the size of them, they're trying to get those as best as we can. We probably haven't, the report I get the mayor doesn't include the report Major Harden does, which is probably we respond to nearly 900 more calls a month. Not even, getting to track. We're a 17-man department, and we try to hit the road. So today, 3 of my guys went back to school, and got a guy in the county from level 14. So I don't have a good answer for you, besides we'll continue to do the best we can on that. Also, you know, it's all relative, we're doing the best we can. So,
Speed bumps would help quite a bit, I think.
the last time we did speed bumps, the Public Works has to approve that, there has to be, and I'm going on, and you can talk to council here. Last time we did, we had to do some type of survey, we had to bring up, had to get accidents to an engineering firm.
Traffic study.
Sorry.
Traffic study.
Whatever you said, that's stuff. It's not an easy process, it's time consuming, we put them on, Oak and some other ones. And just to be honest with you, when we put them there, normally we get complaints that they're not, they, people call them and they hit them.
I'm just gonna think of a
We'll go
solution.
ahead and, but I can promise you that we continue to try to watch it.
We have a lot of water standing.
Right.
I've got pictures of that from the last rain.
We are aware of the water issues on Main Street as well. We have every intention, beginning at the sail bar, going south, putting new tile in down that way, cleaning those ditches, then taking those ditches, cleaning them all the way down to the creek there that is east of town. So we have, we have plans for that. And, so that is going forward. But I will tell you this, as Scottsburg PD, I've asked Chief Zellers to, have our guys become more aggressive. So our pullovers are about double at least, if not more than double. So we have been taking more of an aggressive stand. I've also asked Chief Zellers to make sure that every street in the city of Scottsburg is patrolled every day. So we're wanting a police car down every street of Scottsburg every day. So that folks will see Scottsburg PD out there for their safety, for their protection, and for the reassurance that we're providing safety for folks. So, thank you very much. Who else has a question? Okay, we've closed the public hearing then, so let's go on down to the second reading of ordinance 2020-9 and orders to amend the sanitation rate ordinance. Do I have a motion to? I have a motion to, how do you do this, Josh?
Need motion approved on second reading, or if there's any amendments to be made. It's out, second reading, so if there's any amendments.
The amendments would be the omission of the trash bins at $25.
Yes.
And that would be the big.
And as presented on second reading, because not it had been amended to remove that. So if as presented, in type and print currently, it'd be a motion to approve as amended on second.
And is there 2 amendments, Chuck, as well? There's a verbiage in there, special disposable bags. Once those Saskell bags are gone, they're being replaced with the stickers. We probably want to remove the special Saskell bag, is that correct?
Well, I think right now, we need that in there because the Saskell bags that are
Still
out there.
Sure.
We'll still pick them up.
Sure.
So it'll be paid, we forbid that, then I think we're going to do it.
Right, well, we don't want to have somebody have.
So
50 up
it's
there.
45 cents increase on the stickers. Do away with the language pertaining to the trash cans, $25 a month, trash cans. And I would make that motion that we approve that. And then
Councilman Checkros makes a motion to approve this sanitation order on second reading with the amendments of removing the item C, the trash can, and those five bullet points underneath. Is that correct, Councilman?
yes, it is.
cost per dumpster.
On rent.
Yeah, so on the dumpster, so the rate structure also, you would be approving then, on second reading, 25-cent increase after 27 years, going 75 cents to $1, and also the dumpster collection fees. So that amendment, basically, you're asking for the motion to be passed on everything except removal. The amendment is removal of trash can verbiage. So Chuck Rose makes that motion. Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Christian Evans seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Does council have any desire to have a third reading tonight or not?
I'll take the motion to suspend the rules.
Christian Evans makes the motion.
Here you go. I suspend the rules. All right,
And have a third reading.
whatever Josh says.
Is there a second to suspend rules?
I'll second.
Chris Albertson seconds. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Because it's unanimous, we can go forward with third reading then.
The rules are now suspended, so now you approve it as an third reading.
So we have a motion to approve the ordinance as amended on third reading. Bill Holman makes a motion to approve on third reading. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Rick Vance seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes on third reading. And the next thing we have is the second reading of ordinance 2020-13, and ordinance repealing and replacing chapter 94, article 2 of the city of Scottsburg, Indiana code. The ordinance is regulating debris, weeds, and rank vegetation. This is the second reading of this ordinance as well. Is there a motion to approve second reading as amended? I mean, as given. It's not amended, sorry.
Yes. I'm gonna see that.
I make a motion to approve the second reading as amended. Not amended for grass.
Okay, so basically, let me see here. So on descriptions, what page is that, Josh?
94, section 1, page 2, yeah, 9433, and section 9434, included specifically grass.
Okay, you see that where the word grass has been added? Violation, it shall be a violation of this chapter for any property owner or person to allow grass, weeds, and/or rank vegetation to grow more than a height of 8 inches. The person should be allowed any debris to exist on their property. So Chuck made the motion.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
Mr. Evans seconds the motion as amended. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I just want to say that, in regards to this particular ordinance, I kind of have a hard time getting behind this ordinance because there's a lot of city property that is not in compliance with this ordinance. There's county property that's not in compliance, there's state property that's not in compliance. So I think it's kind of hard to ask our citizens to be accountable for an ordinance that we're not even in compliance with ourselves. A few properties that I can think of, the old corn factory area, Elm Street, property south of the cemetery down there in the city. Lindsay Marine Park area over behind the city garage. There's some areas back in there that's not very well kept. So just, in my opinion, I have a hard time with behind the ordinance that we as a city, we're not really complying with ourselves.
And I appreciate that. Let me say this, that this is the one thing that this administration is doing. We've issued over 200 citations and probably have another 200 to do. we are cognizant of the fact that we too need to keep our grass go down. So if you've not been down to the corn factory lately, you'll see that work has begun there. We've taken trees down, we're mowing there. Do we have a lot more to do? We certainly do. The problem is that we typically have at this point somewhere between 8 and 20 more helpers in yellow suits that we missed here. And so we have been short on labor. That doesn't mean if we have had time, we've had city workers go down there and start. So you're going to see a tremendous amount. You can see the corn factory. Let me say that. And, as far as the Lindsey Graham Park area, that is a kind of a wetlands back there. You notice there's an area back there for butterflies. Have you ever walked that area?
Right.
That area,
The city garage is what I'm talking about, more specifically, there's some debris and stuff back in there that's not cleaned up.
the debris is where, I think you're right, there is some debris back there. There's a building that came down. And a lot of that building, where we've just built that new structure, there are concrete blocks that are there that need to be picked up. There's been areas where construction has been done and they've dropped some of that off there. You are correct, in that city garage area, that does need picking up. What other area was it?
Those are the three that I had.
You said Elm Street?
Lake Isle, back, a couple like that, back Lake Isle, where the dump area is, I mean, that doesn't, too correct back in there.
The dump area where?
In behind Lake Isle, going north on the walk path along the railroad tracks, where we've been dumping yard debris and things like that. So,
Okay, that should be out of sight. I mean, at least there's a wire across there and if you're talking about down by the dog park where we go down,
Yeah.
take our chips, that kind of stuff.
yes.
I mean, the railroad dump, I bet we have 3 semi-loads of chips that the railroad put on some report. And I'm totally aware of that. Matter of fact, I've asked the folks at President if they want that we would certainly like to haul it to these folks. And, but Elm Street, you mentioned as well, Scott Manufacturing. We want you to know there as well that we've put a lot of concrete there. And Mark Thomas has equipment that he's purchased to take all that concrete out, get all that smoothed out. Once that's taken out and smoothed out, we can take equipment in there and take that down. City of Scottsburg, I'm certainly wanting to try, if we have the opportunity to donate that to the Scottsburg Cemetery, we would like to do that so that we can expand our cemetery area. Because I believe the city owns that 3 acres there. You know, Bill could probably tell you how many folks you can get in an acre, but that would last us more time. That would last us more time. But we are aware of that as well, because I've seen that as well. We got a lot of concrete there. We've been taking all of our concrete and putting it there because we knew that Mr. Thomas had this equipment and he's offered at no charge to grind that up and get it out. Even if the concrete that's poured, he's gonna take all of that out. So we'll all be returned to natural soil. Once we're there, we can go to the bush hog and not have fear of knocking our heads or out of our equipment. We have that many more.
I guess my thing is, knowing what resources the city has to get things happen. We're putting time limits on people to get things done, and, you know, who's holding us accountable for getting these things done in time?
And please, when you see things like this, I mean, please let me know. You know, the time limit here on the Elm Street has been that moving forward. Lake Iowa, I have huge plans for Lake Iowa. And in the corn factory, I should say not Lake Iowa, but the corn factory down there, I have huge plans for the corn factory. We hope to make that an envy of Southern Indiana. I can tell you that right now. If we're able to do some things we want to get done. What was the other place you had another location?
I think that's it there.
Okay.
Right off the top of it.
Yeah, and certainly, we want to do every effort. If you see something, you had said also there, I think, on the state highway. And,
Oh, yeah, we talked about that earlier.
yeah, we talked about that. So, but yeah, but anytime any councilman sees an area, please let the mayor's office know, and I will certainly address that. Again, I've got eyes with Scottsburg PD. I've got eyes with our, you know, we have 70, 80 workers. I've got eyes with, they'll let us know. So, but if we've missed something, please let me know. We will certainly handle that.
This is just revising a current ordinance. it's already on the books.
It is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, is this not a new ordinance, I don't think?
Right, I think we've changed some of the wording, the
Just some of the
vegetation,
wording.
the height restrictions and things like that.
This ordinance, I think, has been around a long time.
Yeah, same height, the state statute was passed, what the biggest thing in here, and I will mention this in here a little bit, that there is the right, once we've got service on someone, so think about your habitual offenders, they don't mow the first of May, each time they don't mow, we have to resend certified mail, run up our expense before we go mow that. The state statute allows, once you pass this ordinance, to bypass that, you get notice once, next time mid-May or the first of June, you go and you stick a notice on the door, you mow, you win the property. So this is more geared, it's not really amending what we have on the books, it's adding in some teeth to us for the habitual offenders to make it a little easier, more cost effective for the city to lean and mow quicker, so we don't have to watch that property grow over the course of a month.
And I can tell you this, council, that basically, Jessica or Ashley, am I correct if I say we have probably 30% of our offenders are repeat offenders? Is that, you think I'm correct in that?
Yeah.
So, so we have a certain percentage, again, is it $7 or $9?
$7.65 just to certify mail it.
So, in other words, instead of having to send that 30% another certified letter, then this allows us to just to go back and post it, am I correct there?
Correct. Once we got notice first time work, and they continue to, within one calendar year, continue to post it.
We can take a piece of paper, put on their door, that, we're given 5 days, police cleanup area, within 5 days, we'll come back and remote again. So that's kind of what this is about. It kind of gives us that leverage without having to constantly send out another certified letter.
I just want to make sure that we're,
Leading by example. I
Exactly.
understand what you're saying. We just need to do a better job of leading by example. So what you're saying?
yeah, because I heard multiple people say, well, the properties in the city that we have, like, really?
Yes. And I certainly want to do that. I have every intent to try to get anything looking nice that the city owns. We want it to be nice for the citizens. That's what we all hear. We're servants to the people. We want to serve them however we can. Absolutely. So thank you. Thank you for that. So we do have a second. Are there any other comments? So hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
No.
1 nay. Chris Albertson, 4 ayes. Motion passed. Does council want to have a third reading next meeting, or you want to try to pass this and see? I think you have to have unanimous, don't you? For that, it sounds like you might not have.
You do not, you've already, sorry,
I vote we had a unanimous vote to suspend the rules.
we already had a first reading, so this is the second reading. The only time you need the unanimous is if you are actually passing it all in one reading. So we had the first reading the last meeting, so you would need a motion and a majority approval to suspend the rules, and then again, majority approval to pass it. But it would not have to be unanimous.
I'll leave that to council, that's your pleasure. Would you like to have a third reading or not?
I think he's expressed, Councilman Alberts has expressed reservations. I think we should have another reading.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I'm only one. But, why suspend the rules? I don't think we have to have it on the books today.
So per the rules, you would have to amend on third reading, you would have to have a 2/3 vote in favor to amend. So just try that in mind. If there is a change to be made, you would need to have 2/3 vote in favor to amend it on third reading. Otherwise, it would be simple majority to approve on at the next meeting. And this is obviously where we're at the mowing season of the year. This is more geared towards next year, being ready to roll. So it's not, this is, probably at this point in time in the season, this wouldn't have to be published before it would be effective, because there is a penalty associated with it. So, no need for it.
I would appreciate that extra time, just for more public input and discussion.
Mowing has certainly brought a new whole area to the city because, you know, for a long time we've had trash on properties. I mean, we contacted 3 property owners today that, you know, it's just a lot of debris around property. So you add then mowing into it, it just added a whole nother element. So thank you for your time. And, you know, so, okay, let's go on down then to, item number 9 on the first reading of ordinance 2020-14, an ordinance to amend this 2020 salary ordinance to the mayor's field assistant. If you look on your paper there, this is, find a page. This is for basically our on the next page, you're going to see Mayor's Field Assistant before it was 2059. This wage amendment drops it down to 2032. So it's not a lot of money, but we do need your blessing upon this to make this happen. In other words, this job description was basically 2032. This person was in a this person was in another job description, so it looks like it's about a 27-cent deduction. Our scouts will leave it as is. So we'll entertain a motion to pass ordinance 2020-14. Does anyone make a motion to do that? Chuck makes the motion. Christian Evans seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? This is the first reading. We have a motion by Chuck, seconded by Christian Evans. You can't. So questions, comments, concerns about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Hearing none. Now, do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Motion to proceed on one reading.
Rose makes a motion to suspend the rules and proceed. Second, third reading. Remain seconds. Questions, comments, concerns?
Is this for second and third reading?
This is just a motion to suspend the rules. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The rules are suspended. Is there a motion then to pass on second reading? You say second and final? Christian Evans makes a motion to pass the second final reading. Is there a second? Chuck Rose seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none. Ordinance 2020-14 passes. The next we have on our agenda for this evening is approval of the Mass Park Industrial Training Center rates. It's in your packet as well. Councilman Rose, would you like to comment on this?
Well, this, we need some place to start with the rates on the training center. With IDTech, with Vincent University and some others, you know, about starting training, getting things going again. We need some place to start as far as, you know, what we call the CNC lab and the control room, those special. But anyway, there's some IT classrooms in here as well, so this is our best estimate where we begin. This is based on the costing information that goes into the fuel here provided. There, see that this is training for the entire park. So this is using those numbers. This is estimate where cheap is where we can start.
And folks, if you're watching this at home, just want you to know these are items that it's going to listed per day and per half day for different rooms that are out here. So that's what the council is passing today. So,
Motion to approve the rate.
Big Man makes a motion to approve the rate as presented before council this evening. Is there a second? Bill Holcomb seconds. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
Chuck, I got a question. Since we're starting school, do we need to speed these rates up, or can we go to more than one reading? Is it one reading is all needed? Just want to make sure.
You know, that's not, but I appreciate that. We have now school is, we need to open back up. We need to be prepared to give them rates, spike rates, and we don't need to go delays.
So this isn't what you needed, right?
This is what we need.
Okay.
This is only time, this is not about this house,
No,
No, it's automatically goes to your, okay, I just want to make sure.
Correct.
You know, I was
Yeah.
looking at previously introduced. That's what.
This is a supplement for that?
This is temporary until that's finalized.
So this is a training for,
This does not include the event center and those things. This is strictly the training center.
Correct.
so this would then be further incorporated in something like that.
Yes.
Because we already have something in place on this. Okay.
Yes.
We already have a bracelet. That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
We've got temporary rates in place until they finalize.
Any other discussion on Mid-America Science Park? Okay, one of the last items here is the discussion on the brush pickup ordinance. If you look at your packet, it's going to be basically on the page 83, where it says 83. Here's what it says: hedge and or tree trimmings shall be eligible for collection if placed in a collection bag or securely tied in bundles, not exceeding 1 foot in diameter and 5 foot in length, with one collection bag wrapped around the bundle. Here's what I've seen happening. We have folks, if you're at home, and you have limbs that blow down in your house, and you want to set those out, the city has a truck that comes by that has kind of like the big claw. It's kind of like a claw you see at the fair. We bring it over, we pick up the limbs, we put it in the back, and we haul it off, and we will chip that up, or we will dispose of that for you. But if we go through the town every month, picking up, we go down the streets and pick up limbs and pick up debris that's fallen out of trees. But what I found is that we've had a tree trimmer at some point who's coming in and is cutting trees down and putting most of the trees by the side of the road. And that we cannot have. Those tree trimmers, I spoke to that tree trimmer and I've asked him to please, grind your trees up we are not prepared to take whole trees away and all of the limbs that go with it. So, does council have anything else to say on that?
Mayor, it states on the ordinance, one collection diagram from the bundle with passage of sanitation ordinance, would that be a sticker on that?
We certainly have not gone that way. Basically, if they've got,
It's less than that.
a pile of sticks out here like this, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
We just come and pick it up and we go. But to have a pile from here, as tall as you are, that's what we're trying to avoid. To me, that's part of that job that tree trimmer is supposed to do, is to grind up those limbs of all sizes. Some of these limbs are so big, we got them up several times, just split them, whatever, to pick them up.
Absolutely.
We've got a tree that's sitting out there that's massive diameter. I have several announcements this evening. One announcement, I'm proud to say is a congratulations to Seth Helton. I would like to have Chief Zellers tell us a little bit about Seth Helton and also another recruit you have at the academy right now, Chief.
Seth Helton graduated, I don't know the exact name, he graduated from the academy. It was kind of a long process due to COVID-19. They started and then they sent him home about halfway through. So we utilized him for a while. And then they brought him back in sections, 3 different groups. They just drew him randomly. And he went in the last section. But he's graduated. They do over, I think it's 608, I think exactly hours to do criminal law, traffic. It's the law enforcement academy. Every officer in the state of Indiana has to go to graduate to be a police officer. From day to hire, you have a 1 year obligation to get them there, and get them through the academy after start. For them to keep the police title in the state of Indiana. Of course, this one was wavered a little bit because of the coronavirus COVID-19. So we're proud of him. His dad is working the streets. Of course, this young guy, we stuck him right on night shift, but he wants to be anyway. And as I spoke earlier, Andy Brown, we hired him at the beginning of this year, and also delayed because of the last academy class. He just started last week. And hopefully he gets through it without any delays, so we can get him back and get him on the road. I think he graduates in November, if everything goes as planned. And he's doing really well. We've already saw some pictures on his Facebook page where Andy's actually helping teach new recruits how to march. He's a Marine veteran. That's a really good job for us.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Andy Brown. Thank you, Seth Helton. You're watching. City of Scottsburg, thank you. Thank you for your protection. I would like to mention to you about the COVID-19 report. City of Scottsburg hosts a COVID-19 meeting every Monday at 1 p.m. Just to give you an idea of what's happening, we have the county there, we have county sheriff, we have the county hospital, county health department, the 911 center. We have City of Austin there, county council, county commissioners. And on July the 13th, we had 3 new infections. July 20th, 7 days later, we had 34 infections. Look at that jump. July 27th, 26 infections. August the 3rd, 28 infections. August the 10th, 17. So we dropped back. The school's starting in, so we'll see what happens. Just to give you an idea. The Armory is still open. If you're watching, you can go and be tested. There's no charge to you. You can go to the Armory here in Scottsburg on South Main Street and be tested. It's there from 7 o'clock. When it gets hot, many times they have to leave around 2 o'clock. They're usually there till 5. You just go and be tested. So let's take care of ourselves. We're somewhat insular, so we don't have the infections that big cities do. So we just try to keep everything going in place there. I want to tell you about a great thing. City of Scottsburg was awarded a $500,000 EDA grant. So we're going to have $500,000 to put in our coffers to loan out. We have one business that's come to us. who needs to expand their manufacturing operation, add employees, and they're going to take a lot of that funding. So we're so thankful that EDA has given us this funding to be able to help these folks as well as other folks. So if you have businesses in your areas that you would like to see apply for assistance, we have the money that would be available to loan out to them. So on EDA, I want to tell you about the Community Crossings Grant. City of Scottsburg did everything that we needed to do to submit to the Community Crossings Grant. We had a 99.9% completion rate. We feel we would get this. And then all of a sudden, the state puts the halt to this. The state is saying because of COVID-19, we're going to halt giving this grant out here. We're going to let you know more in the fall. So right now, we've kind of been put on hold. Give you an update on the wastewater treatment. I was the entire day, all day Tuesday, in Indianapolis with our engineers, with estimators, and I have drawings for you that I will bring next council meeting. That you can see the new plant and everything going on. Within 6 weeks, we will have the 60% completion. We can give you exact numbers. So that is going along very well. We also have here coming up the Hayes and Guthrie litigation that we needed an extension. We extended that until August. Again, the COVID's still hanging on. So again, we're coming up where we have not been able to get these numbers for you. We are not anticipating any more rate increase on wastewater. Folks, I want you to hear that. I'm not anticipating any more increase on wastewater, but I have to get those numbers so before we can go forward with that. So again, we're going to need to ask Mr. Hayes and Mr. Guthrie for an extension. So we'll be getting that to you into them as well. To get us at least another 6 to 8 weeks so we can have those numbers. Just also let you know about the food boxes. I want you to know in Scott County, folks, there's been over $1 million worth of food given away since this began. So right now, that area has been moved. So if you've been used to going to the Rock, or if you've been used to going to Austin Elementary, we now need you to go to Scott County Fairgrounds. Scott County Fairgrounds will be every Wednesday, and Austin and Scottsburg and all Scott County will go there. So please come to Scott County Fairgrounds. This is a very needed area for our residents. We get 50 pounds of food. So it's from the CARES Act, from Washington, D.C., from farm to table. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, come and get your 3 blocks. Well, the last things I want to talk to you about is the Jeeves building. I received probably 4 to 6 calls regarding the Jeeves building. And what has happened there, the city of Scottsburg entered into an agreement with the developer a year ago in July, this past July. And I've met with that developer 3 times now. And again, that building continues to set in. The developer, we loaned money on that property, and that property fell into some disrepair. We had, looked like wind blew up and blew the rubber roof back. Rain penetrated that, and it knocked the floor out of the second building. You have 3 buildings there. Knocked the floor out of the second building. The developer has taken the floor out. And he came to me, instead of wanting to put a restaurant in there, he wanted to put 4 more apartments, 8 apartments. And folks, we need a restaurant in downtown Scottsburg. I need that as an anchor for the downtown area. And we have a lot of ideas for the downtown area. And so we said, no, we want the restaurant. That's what you signed up to do. So that's what we're expecting them to do. So through several negotiations, I have asked the developer, and again, they are buying this on contract. They were given a 6 months moratorium not to make any payments. So this was done in July. The first payment began in January of 2020. So this month, the developers made 8 payments there. So, so they're trying to figure out, how to go forward. Is the money they're going to have to borrow going to be able to support the debt service, because at this point, they owe the city of Scottsburg $210,000. So there's some question. So they have put a roof on it. They have put a rubber roof on the building. They have taken the floor out of the second building. They've done some work as far as demo work up in the upstairs area that they had. So one of the things that we have talked about and is possibly, I've tried to identify Scottsburg assets. We have a couple pocket parks, one on South 2nd Street, South 1st Street, one on what used to be called, I guess it was the Estel Park, and on South 5th Street. So to see if they would like to be remunerated for their work by trading that property. So just asking council to keep this in mind as we go through the negotiations with this. Does anybody oppose to giving them, trading that Estel Park property for that property back in return?
I think we need to look at it.
Okay. Yeah.
Park will be 3 to 5 acres, 3 or 5. 4.
Do we know that, Ashley?
What was that again?
Is the property the city owns, the pocket park on North 5th Street, is it 3 acres or 5 acres, do you know?
I believe it's 3, yes.
It's 3?
Yes.
The area that extends beyond the area that's mowed, actually, or do you know?
I don't know. I've not been by it in a while.
You know, there's some area that's mowed and it's underrated, it's just, thank goodness, but anyway, the area beyond that is mown up and, you know, thicket. I don't know if any of that belongs to the city or not. If it's just a mowed area, it's 3 acres.
Looking at GIS, it says it's 3.21 acres and the tree line is pretty much right around the edge of it.
You guys know where it is, go to the street, turn left on 5th Street all the way to the end, and you don't turn off.
I'll tell you, my fear in this is that the developer is wanting to get a loan from the bank to build out the apartments there. The problem is that he's wanting the city to be subjected to being the second landlord, so that the bank he's borrowing the money from would be the first lender. So in case of a default, should the developer default, then the bank has the first right of all funding. And the city then would have the potential to lose the funding that we've put in. So that's my concern. That's my concern right now, I can tell you. So I was not for basically being subjective underneath the bank. I'm trying to protect the people's money. So if you would consider that, if you have any questions, please call me. I can go over with what has been discussed. One of the things, options that has been put on the table as well, would you trade your interest for that G's property, all 3 buildings, for this pocket park? So they indicated they did have an interest in that. So, but any other questions? Okay. Well, folks, thank you for being with us tonight, and I hope we've cleared some things up or made more questions for you, one of the two. So have a good evening and have a motion to adjourn. Commissioner makes a motion, we're adjourned. Thank you, folks.